G'day fellas and welcome back to another casted game with this beautiful new UI. Spawning in on the north side of the map, playing as the Chinese in the color teal, representing Team Liquid, we've got the Muslim. And on the south side of the map, playing in the color blue, as the Delhi Sultanate. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Crackety here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are on the pup at the moment. This is not a final version of the pup, so don't expect that everything that you see here is going to be in the release. But, ladies and gentlemen, it is incredibly exciting to be witnessing this with the new UI. We're going to be taking a look at our openings here and seeing what we've got coming out for these guys. Now, I suspect from the Muslim, it's going to be that very typical 6-3-3 build order. He loves this one. He never goes past it. 6 vils to food, 3 vils to wood, 3 vils to gold. Very nice and simple opening for him. Now, it looks like it's been a single scout opening for him. We'll double check and see. Indeed, it has been a single scout opening. We'll double check with Crackety as well. Check what he's up to. It's going to be a double scout opening for him, so looking to deny away some of that food from the Chinese. It can definitely be a good thing to look to deny food from the Chinese, because remember, the Chinese do love to have as many sheep stacked in on top of this mill as possible, so it's easy to supervise it. You don't have to move out with the Imperial official that early, so if you can deny food away from the Chinese, definitely a worthwhile investment. But back towards the base of Crackety, we do see it's been a mill opening for him. Sometimes players can avoid it, but not going to be the case here today. Also gone with the mosque out nice and early. Couple of upgrades already in queue, and we can see them on this lovely UI that is currently showing what the upgrades are in the queue at the moment. So we can even hover over them and see how long that they've got left on them. Wheelbarrow there, 2 minutes 38. Not too bad. And now we take a look back at the Muslim's base. It's going to be that 6-3-3, and one of the things we're going to be talking about in this video are some of the upcoming changes to, yes, you heard it right, town centers. There it is, town centers. So not only are the town centers nerfed, but there is also a big nerf coming through to keeps. So both of these buildings have been targeted by the devs. They've said, you know what, we want to make sure that play is a little bit fairer for those trying to attack rather than trying to defend, or maybe, you know, make it a little bit harder for players trying to attack with keeps. So they've said, we're going to make it a little bit easier for keep drops to be denied. That's essentially it. So they've given keeps an extra, I think it's 40 seconds of construction time. So they used to be, if I remember correctly, 2 minutes and 20 seconds. That's gone up to 3 minutes flat now for most civilizations. Obviously for the Chinese, it's a little bit different. Their construction times are longer because they do construct things faster. That's interesting how they actually balance that one out. But for most of the other civilizations, or all the other civilizations, there is that nerf. There's also a nerf to the to the town centers. So essentially what that means is that your town center now costs an extra 50 stone. So you want to get that second TC up, you're going to need to gather up 350 stone, not 300 stone, 350 stone. The wood cost, it remains the same. Scouts calling out to each other. So the wood cost is the same. Stone cost slightly increased from 300 to 350. And also the build time is increased from 2 minutes to 2 minutes 30. So quite a big nerf there in that regard. But we'll take a look at Muslim as he is now beginning to age up. We're right on board with him as the Imperial Academy does go down. And what an absolutely beautiful Imperial Academy. I don't think you can ask for a better Imperial Academy. It hits 3 out of the 4 key resources here. I think perhaps if he'd gone a couple tiles down, maybe if he'd filled this one out, maybe one more tile, he may have even been able to hit the stone outcropping, but it would have been tight. It would have been tight. But still pretty damn beautiful. Scout now going to be running in, doing a little bit of an attack. Now, one of the things to note in the pup, scouts only do 1 damage. So you can see the health right down here, 46 out of 50. And they don't interrupt anymore. Look at that. They don't interrupt the villagers as they try and drop off gold. So absolute chef's kiss. Crackety here trying to dish out some damage, but unfortunately, it's going to be a very slow and steady battle. Let's just put it that way. Well, Muslim now, 4 minutes 20, closing in on that age up with the Imperial Academy. On the other side of the map, Crackety here going to be going up with the Tower of Victory, something that we definitely don't see out quite a bit. But on this map, we definitely do see a fair amount of it, just simply because of the ease of access when it comes to the sacred site. So you can guarantee that income of 150 gold a minute, and then you don't really have to worry about scholars as much, because that gold is just going to be able to provide you all of that, all of those scholars that you need. Whereas the Dome of the Faith, I mean, sure, you get scholars already, but look, you don't, let's just put it this way. You don't need it. It's not that big. Dome of the Faith, it scales as long as you're building lots of scholars. But the thing is, you can just build lots of scholars with the Tower of Victory, which actually scales. Second mosque now coming up here for Crackety here as well. So could be even thinking about going for double production on these, on the scholars. We'll have to wait and see. Actually, it's just going to be single production on the scholars and then researching with the other one, I suspect. Bringing out some scouts now into the middle of the map. We take a look at the Barbican begins to go down in the front of the base here for the Muslim. Not only does this Barbican protect the stone, but also going to deny this sacred site from Crackety. So very smart move there. Typically, those damn Delhi players, they like to get out on the map and be aggressive, try and take the sacred sites away from their enemies. Whether that happens this game or not, I suspect probably not. Just simply because, well, that looks like a very solid Barbican for the Muslim. Beautiful little opening here for him, though. Nice little time for him. Just shy of 6 minutes. Now, obviously, the min-maxer in me says, well, 6 minutes. I mean, you're doing a 550. I reckon we can do that in 440 with a village. And you're damn well bloody right. So perhaps the Muslim's just a fan of the older builds, or perhaps he's just not caught on to the new builds. I know that some players like Beastie have gone with the village opening. It seems very common now. Players are going for straggler tree into the mill, but obviously the Muslim is still yet to open up with something like that. Now going to be looking to gather up the stone for the first of his expansion town centers. And the reason why I say first of his expansion town centers is because with the new changes, I think that it's going to be rare we actually see extra expansions coming out. Now for the Chinese, their favorite is that 2 TC Song Dynasty. Sorry, apologies, just had a bit of a stroke there. So their favorite is the 2 TC Song Dynasty. And if you want to match that, you're going to need to go 3 TCs yourself. So that's a big call for Crackety, and the question is going to be whether he can actually make that call or not. See a couple of archers coming out. And look at this, he's rallied around towards the edge of the map, knows that he's going to come in on this angle. Barbican going to be able to deny any kind of aggression. We have a look at the Barbican. You can see the range on it. Going to be more than enough to deny any kind of archer plays. Down to the south, it looks like some scouts just crawling back to Muslim. Going to be rescuing a sheep. We'll ride on board with Crackety and see if we've got any sign of a second town center. Doesn't seem like it. So not opting to play the same way that B played, or at least he used to be now, or used to play rather. Now, I guess in saying his name, obviously, there's still a bit of a sour taste in my mouth when we talk about it. But at the end of the day, he also did quite a lot to push the meta and develop the meta on this map in particular. Now the villager coming out. I think we've got a bit of a chop through here. This has got to be a chop through. You can see that he's commanded the villager to go to the other side. But for whatever reason, we can't actually see. Hold on a minute. Wait, where are my waypoints? Where are my waypoints? Do I need to enable waypoints? Is that what there's a waypoint. Okay, maybe single waypoints aren't showing. Archer's managed to get off the get the kill there. Not too bad. Chop through now, coming through. There he goes. So could have just walked around that way, but he wants to be fancy. I like it, Crackety. Outpost going to be coming up on the gold mine, and Demuzlim going to be evacuating the dance floor. Second town center has come up right next to the starting town center. You can see he's got 50 stone in the bag. He's actually gathered up quite a bit back there. But now just isolating this gold vein and preventing any real gathering from this. Now keep in mind there's always going to be a second gold vein that you can move out to, and we already see Demuzlim beginning to move out into the middle of the map here, dropping down the outpost. Obviously this is I mean, we talk about the Thunderdome as a concept, but never mind that, we've got some horsemen looking to try and push in on this position. Going to be very successful. Keep in mind you need to ignore the scouts. They only do 1 damage. Do not attack the scouts. You're focusing down the archers. That's going to be your main attack goal, and then of course hit the villagers as well. It can be tough when the scouts stand on top of them. There is still a villager in here. You can see it tapping away, or rather you can see the health pool increasing slowly and steadily, and I think that's what he's trying to do. I think he's trying to block the villager. Yeah, he's trying to pull the scouts out. You can see, hold position on top of the villager. Oh, he's protecting the villager. Look at this. It's beautiful micro, and he's got to get the outpost up. By getting the outpost up, he's now able... I can't believe that worked. That's huge. Because you don't want to kill the scouts, you want to kill the villager, but you can't kill the villager because the scout's standing on top of it. He held position. That's an actual 200 IQ move coming out there from Crackety. I don't think I've ever seen that before, using the hitboxes. Now we've got the archers going to be coming out, going to be looking at focus down the villagers. We can see it's highlighting just the one that's got the low health. Fortunately, the outpost does go down. A lot of idle time getting drawn out from this single villager and single outpost across the other side of the map, forcing out plenty more horsemen as well. 4 horsemen, 5 horsemen actually, coming out for Demuzlim now. managing to keep them all alive, and that scout almost certainly going to be going down here underneath the town center in the middle of the map, though. We hear the sacred sites being taken. Wolf going to be working his magic over here as well. We ain't going to change to the perspective of Crackety. No. We're not interested in hearing that. But we do see that there are some techs being researched at the moment for Crackety. He's just dropped down the blacksmith, and it looks like we have got our first of the upgrades coming through. It's going to be iron undermesh. So you can see it takes 2 minutes and 32 seconds, or 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Now, it's curious that that actually shows up here rather than just showing it over on this side. But Demuslim looking to try and deny this sacred site in the center. He's going to be successful with it as well. No capture going to happen there, unfortunately. So Demuslim being very, very fortunate with that timing. Spearmen did manage to make their way up, but the outpost has now been secured, and we do see that the emplacements coming through on it. Now, the emplacements also reflected in the top right of our screen, as well as Imperial examinations to increase that carrying capacity for the Imperial officials. Now, we do have +1 coming through. All the economic upgrades that you can dream of for the Chinese have come through with the 2 TC. So I like this play so far coming out here from Demuslim. Very, very smart style of play. Over on the other side of the map, though, Crackety doesn't look like he is intent on adding in that second TC. We're yet to see any add-in coming through. Actually, I've just realized we need to switch these guys around, because we've got Crackety over here and then Demuslim over here. Now, I don't know how to switch that up, so I apologize to you guys. This must be confusing. I've only just realized this now. But I know that there's a hotkey for it. I just don't know what it is. So I'm going to have to double check my patch notes just to make sure I've got that one sorted out, because ideally we should have this flipped over. So I do apologize to you guys for that one. Horseman getting picked up there. Crackety managing to find that one. Now Demuslim going to be looking to defend in the middle. Look at all of these outposts coming up. He's looking to try and get through the fortification on these outposts. We know he's in the Song Dynasty as well. You can see that listed up here in the top right-hand corner. Fortification does come through, and with fortification coming through, that's going to increase the fire resistance. We can see down here 5 fire resistance compared to 0 fire resistance. And when these guys are doing 13 torch damage, that brings it down to 8. So it really, really hampers that melee siege. But we do now see the sacred site is captured. Scholar going down. More units coming out here for Crackety. He's trying to hold this, but on the other side of the map, Demuslim is going to the 3rd age. Take a look at this. We've got the astronomical clock tower coming in. We know that it's coming in as well, because we can see it over on the right side of our screen now. Things not looking good for Demuslim. He's sitting on 2 military population at the moment. That's 2 horsemen. Verse 28 or 29 realized military units for his enemy. That includes 21 spear, 3 archers, and 6 scholars. It's a lot of spearmen coming out right now. Demuslim now reaching the castle age. Now, one of the great things about this update is as soon as I switch player perspective, it actually gets rid of that message that comes up on the screen. I often, I get annoyed at the messages that pop up on the screen all the time. I guess that's probably just like a part. I don't know whether it's my autism or my obsessive compulsive disorder or my ADHD. It's something that just doesn't like those big messages coming up in the middle of my screen. And so I just try and get rid of it as quickly as I can. So I do apologize if that annoys you. But yes, that was Demuslim now reaching the 3rd age, and he's going to be on the defensive here. And the question is, how does he hold this position? We're going to change it over from villages on these resources and bring up the income so you can track a little bit more where these guys are thinking about throwing their resources around. So at the moment, no stone being gathered up for Demuslim, so not going to be a keep. This Barbican probably going to be able to hold for the moment. But interestingly, we don't see Crackety with any battering rams out early on in this stage of the game. He's going with a heavy infantry composition, but we can see siege engineering not actually researched. So perhaps a little bit of an oversight. And speaking of oversight, Demuslim might be in a little bit of trouble. We're right on board with him as he looks to try and follow this infantry mass through. It's going to be palace guards coming in and quickly walls out his enemy. Beautiful stuff. Once again, Crackety coming in with some high IQ moves. He's completely walled his enemy in. Oh God. Oh, Lord, this could be really painful. Villagers now going to be forced to head up towards that northern position. They're walled in completely. Crackety here looking to try and just clean out all of these villagers. It's going to be a massacre. Demuslim losing a huge amount of villagers. He's got 36 up here, and the first one's already gone down. He reckons he's spotted a little way through. Didn't actually secure the wall. The Imperial official goes down, as is standard. But unfortunately, it looks like the Vills might actually be able to make their way through here. He's failed to wall it in, and unfortunately, Crackety, being a little bit too quick with the hands, has meant that a whole bunch of villagers have now gotten away. That's 34 villagers that all escaped safely because Crackety was a little bit greedy. He said, well, we got to pull everything, and Demuslim gave him the runaround, and now we've got the upgrades coming through. Bloomery going to be coming through here for Demuslim. He's going to be doing very effectively against this. Now, we don't actually have +1 ranged armor, so it means that the archers are going to be dealing 3 damage, as well as that faster attack speed from the Tower of Victory. So we're going to be very careful with these. But now Crackety going to have to fall back from this position. The Palace Guard's way too strong, and Muslim in a solid position. Villager count at the moment, 73, 74 versus 48. A pretty decent lead there. Now, there might be Imperial officials that are also considered in that. I'm not sure exactly how to check whether the Imperial officials are counted or not. I can see that there's prelates, or rather scholars, that are counted here, but they're not up here. So I would assume that it is counted under as an economic unit. Because we undoubtedly do have Imperial officials out on the map that aren't shown here. But now up to 20 Palace Guards for Muslim, looking very solid at this stage in the game. Trying to clean up his enemy. We've got the third age come through for Crackety. All of the upgrades. War or Tower Elephant going to be coming out, looking to fire down upon these units. Will be pretty effective. Single Hardened Spearman remains. Still no way to turn that sound off, unfortunately. It's a very loud sound. It breaks my ears every time. And are you only capturing this sacred site at 16 minutes into the game, Crackety? Hey, Crackety, I got to talk to you, man. This should be a 7-minute 30 to 8-minute capture right here. This is inside your base. It's literally on the same screen as your starting town center. Don't for a second think I'm not going to call you out on that. That is a no-no and a half, my friends. But at least you've got it now, as the unfortunately the Palace Guards do make their way into your base. Gonna have to try and defend. We'll see if there's any crossbows in queue. Doesn't look like it for the moment. It's gonna be knights instead that he's opting for. Knights always a little bit dangerous because Muslim just starts mixing in spears, which you can see has already begun doing, and it should be able to hold pretty effectively. But knights should be able to clean up just the little bits of Palace Guards running through the base at the same time up towards the north. Villagers gonna have to evacuate as more Palace Guards continue to rampage through the base. More and more Palace Guards running through. This is very typical Chinese play. They love to do this, China. 2 TC Song Dynasty into the Castle Age and straight into Palace Guard just run-bys. It's not about fighting the enemy with your Palace Guards. It's about doing those run-bys, really annoying your enemy. Manages finally now to clean up that mill. Upgrades coming through. It's going to be the owned blades that's coming through first, and we can see that represented on the UI in the top left of your screen. Now, interesting to note that there are 3 other texts that are in queue, but that is not represented up here at all. So it does get a little bit clouded, but fortunately, there's nothing too crazy going on. All of these texts that are being researched are actively being researched. Granary now coming up for Muslim. On the other side of the map, we'll ride on board with him and see how he's doing as he begins to add more and more farms around here. Now, one of the changes to the PUP that has actually happened recently, didn't unfortunately happen to the granary. It happened to the mill, it happened to the town center, is that it's much easier to place farms. Anytime you want to try and place farms, it's going to drop down almost automatically for you. As soon as you select a farm and you're like, I want to build a farm around this mill, it's like, oh, you want to build it here. And you're like, sure, my mouse is down here, but I want to, okay, I'll build it there. And then you click, and then it's like, oh, you want to build your farm here. And you're like, well, actually, I was happy with it down here, but that seems fine as well. Just deletes the mill. He's like, you know what? We don't need the mill. He's like, we don't need it. We need a granary instead. Drops the granary. I like it. I like your style, Muslim. Continues repelling now. Spearman yet to be upgraded to veterans at the moment, but we do see it's coming through on the UI. I'm loving this UI, ladies and gentlemen. This is absolutely beautiful. We don't need to check for anything. It's all coming through, and it's exactly where you'd expect it to be. Population starting to even out a little bit with regard to military, but villager, Muslim miles and miles ahead at the moment. 141 versus 93. Elephant looking to rampage now through the farmland. We'll ride on board with Crackety as he looks to try and hold this position, but the Nest of Bees are on the field. Counterattack coming down. He's neutralized the sacred site and also causing havoc in the wood lines. At the same time, the Nest of Bees looking to fire off. Unfortunately, looks like they've misfired a little bit of a, what do you call that? The block in the barrel. He's jammed. His barrel's jammed. Nest of Bees just rampaging over those spearmen. At the same time, spearmen of Muslim chasing down that tower elephant. The Palace Guard's going to be able to clean up the remainder of the spearmen, and Marine Lord, he's nowhere to be seen, unfortunately, in this game, but Muslim is, and he's completely cleaned this up. I don't know where Marine Lord came from. I got no idea. But now, where did that come from? I got no idea. We can see that he's picked up the honed blade upgrade. It's not going to be enough to mess. Not going to be enough for these Nest of Bees, though. These Nest of Bees way too bloody strong. And now looking to push down upon the middle of the map. Hopefully you'd see some walls coming up. Otherwise, he's going to have problems throughout this game with just continued raids coming through. Even just some palisade walls should be sufficient. Looking to try and clean up that position. But now Spears moving out to the middle. Going to be able to take out the central sacred site Scholar. Unfortunately, they evacuate the position immediately. And, oh, we got a little bit of a villager attack out here over on the east side. The Muslim looks like he was gathering up resources over on this side of the map. Crackety spotted him out and just killed a whole bunch of villagers here. We can see it was about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Very sneaky, very cheeky, but I respect that. That is absolutely great. A great way to sort of slow that, that transition of farms that will inevitably happen to you. Night numbers starting to build up here for Crackety. Now, one of the things that I would be hesitant to do playing as the Delhi against China is go for knights. And the reason why is because as China, you love to play Spearman Palace Guard. It's your favorite composition. Throw in a couple Nesta Bees on the back and you're in a great spot. And unfortunately, the Spearmen are always going to do very well against the Lancers. And to be honest, the Palace Guards don't do too badly either. Now those Spearmen just doing a beautiful little raid up here. He's got the +2 upgrade. We can see it reflected in the top right-hand corner here. I just realized that we've got the armor upgrades coming before the attack upgrades. That's a little bit strange. Perhaps we can get those flipped around. I don't know. To me, it always feels like attack comes first because they're in the top row of the blacksmith. I don't know. What do you guys think? Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. But I've just realized at this point in the game that the Muslim's score is really beginning to, you know, really outpace Crackety at this point. And now you got to remember, in the games, Crackety and Muslim don't have the score. They don't know where they're at, so they're just playing. We've got Omnivision, so we know that Muslim's up 143 vils or 143 pop versus 85. So we know there's an advantage, but it's only when you see it realized in the score like this that it really becomes evident how big that lead is. You want to know another thing as well? This is something quite cheeky for you guys. I don't actually know how long this game goes for. Now, in the old caster UI, we actually hid that in the top right-hand corner. There would be something that I would actually see in the game, so I would know when a game is going to end, and I would be able to prepare for that. I'd be able to get my outro ready. I'd be able to talk about, you know, all that good stuff that you talk about at the end. But here, I've got no idea. I've got no idea when this game ends right now. I'm legitimately casting this with absolutely no clue. And I guess that's just what makes this UI so good. It really increases the experience both for you guys as viewers and for me as a caster, because I've got all this information here available for me as well. Now, this nice little raid coming in on the south side here by the Muslim. I'm loving the mobility that he's got in these forces. I'd expect to see Yuan Dynasty if we haven't already. You can tell that we haven't seen it. It says right there, Yuan Dynasty. I was going to go looking for the landmark, but I said, you know what? We can tell it the other way. It just says Song Dynasty. So Yuan Dynasty going to increase the movement speed of the Palace Guard from 1.3 up. I think it goes up to like 1.62 or something crazy. And now, dropping down a keep. It's an emergency keep. He's got 3 Nesta Bees back here, a couple of infantry units as well. We're going to enter into the cinematic mode. You guys know we need to see that cinematic mode. Get it in here, Drongo. And now the Nesta Bees just getting cleaned up completely, sprinkled on the backside as well as the Lancers. Beautiful little timing window here from Crackety to find this opening against a Muslim. But unfortunately, it looks like he's still going to be losing a fair bit of units here. The keep does go up, and he's going to solidify his position on these farms. A little bit of a weird spot for these farms. And I guess it's probably about the best you've got, realistically. I guess the other alternatives, maybe up to the north somewhere, but that keep going to be able to hold this position easily. The Barbican also firing off. I haven't seen the Springald emplacement coming out on this just yet. We can check in with him and see what it looks like. I'll show you what the caster UI looks like with no magic tricks, though. This is what it looks like. As you can see, we're down here in the bottom corner, I've got the speed of the game, I've got the play and pause, and I can switch back to the regular UI, but I've got no idea what actually is happening with regard to the length of the game. So we'll turn back on the larger map. You guys will see it in the bottom right-hand corner right now. There it comes in. Bigger map for you guys, so it's a little bit easier to track everything that's happening. But Demuslim going to be cleaning this up, and I'm loving the constant Nesta Bees. He's got 3 Nesta Bees in queue. He's literally just 24/7 Nesta Bees. Is this how you play China? 24/7 Nesta Bees? Because I'm starting to think it might be. Farm going to go down, unless it gets repaired. I think the farm burns down. Hopefully the fire doesn't spread to the nearby farms. Looking at trying to clean up this position as well. Fortunately able to do that. Villager count now for Demuslim. About to cross that 100 threshold again. 57 villagers for Crackety. So he's bought himself a little bit of time, but when you're behind by 40 vils, it really starts to hurt. Let's check in now on the relics and the sacred sites. So we can see right now in the bottom left-hand corner, our religious statistics. So we've got 239 gold, so it's about 540 gold a minute against 260 gold a minute. And subsequently, that means he's got a little bit of a higher gold a minute from natural resources, or from rather natural, I don't even know, not natural resources, but he's got a little bit of a higher gold a minute from these passive resources. rather than anything else. But we'll check now at the overview statistics. I'm still yet to find a way to really see this or to realize the value of this. I think as time goes on, we'll probably get it better, but you can actually see we've got the worker kills on the bottom. Now, I don't know if this is right, but it says 50 worker kills for Crackety. And if that's true, that's impressive. 18 worker kills for the Muslim. I'm still trying to work it out. I'm like looking between them. I'm like, all right, trying my best. Now the push out going to be coming through. The Muslim just doing what everyone is doing at this point in the game. Stone walls are so bloody strong. Even though you can only build them in the castle age, at least that's what the gentleman's agreement is between most of these guys. They're still so strong. You just wall the entire map like this. And you can see, this is the Great Wall of China. He's just walled the entire map. He says, well, guess what? You're not going to raid me anymore. If you want to raid me, come through the middle. I'll meet you there. I've got my keep. I've probably got boiling oil. Doesn't have it yet. Shortly he will soon. But, I mean, this is really where the sort of the meta is going. Everyone just seems to be doing this. But now, Outpost does come up on the backside. It's always been there. It's only recently that he's just been attacking. Check in. I want to see, has he killed something recently? Or I think he's just upgraded the Springald emplacement on that one. Middle of the map, Sacred Site was actually getting neutralized there by what appears to be a villager, I want to say. I'm not 100%. It could also be a Palace Guard. I will accept Palace Guard as an answer for that. Now up in the top side of the map, the Muslim's still under attack up here, and we see him dropping down a whole bunch of archery rangers. So you and I know exactly what's coming. It's going to be that Grenadier switch. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It's not going to be Grenadiers. Don't get your hopes up. It's not going to be Grenadiers. I'm suspecting it would be, I guess, crossbows, but I don't know. Yeah, you would have to think crossbows or hand cannoneers. Maybe, is he looking at a play for an Imperial? He look at the resources. I mean, he's probably 30 seconds away from enough resources for an Imperial Age. So definitely a viable option. There's the Imperial... There's the Imperial Age. I wasn't even looking. Where did he put it down? It was over here, the Spirit Way. Oh my god. Wait, is he actually going? I'm not even capping right now. It could be Grenadiers. I'm not even joking. It could actually be Grenadiers. Okay. Hey guys, when I said earlier about that Grenadier switch coming in, I wasn't kidding. I was not kidding. Now, it looks like he is spending some of the resources. So it does mean it does mean that he's probably not going to be going for it. But we'll wait and see. Never count out the Muslim. He's the kind of guy who would go for Grenadiers just to meme on Crackety. But now, I mean, this mass is looking very healthy. You can see the upgrades that we've got coming through as well. Elite Spears, Elite Palace Guards. We've got Elite Army Tactics as well to round out the triple Elites. We've also got the Bodyguard. I can't remember exactly what it's called. The Battle Hardened, rather, and the Veteran Zhuku-Nu. So looking to mix in some Zhuku-Nu here to help out with the Spirit Way buff, I would suspect. But beautiful little splits coming in now. Crackety looking to push into his enemy base despite being down 40 population. Managing to break through. He's looking to now try his best to take down this keep. We're going to be entering into the cinematic mode shortly, as it feels like these guys are ready to fight against each other. Indeed we begin. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the cinematic mode. And now we see the Palace Guards on the front line looking to take out the men-at-arms. Springald's on the backside doing a pretty decent job. The Scholars, arms up in the air. The elite upgrades come through now for Muslim. I can't help but feel like it might be a little bit too late for Crackety. Unfortunately, we can see the scores, and Muslim more than double him at this point in time. Crackety able to whittle down his enemy, but unfortunately it just wasn't enough with Muslim able to maintain strength in this game. And with that, good game gets called. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure casting this game on the brand new pup. I hope you guys have enjoyed this look. Make sure you check out our two creators. I'll leave a link in the description of where you can catch Muslim and Crackety live. They're probably live on Twitch right now, so make sure you go say good day. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you guys in the next one.